Cage Minds, Micah Frankel. We're at Jackson Wink. We're alongside Jesse Tafoya, the Tornado, ahead of PFC 26, February 11th. You go for a flyweight title, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you feel?
Man, I'm doing good. Happy to see how you're progressing, the 4-fight win streak. How are you feeling now that momentum is all in the right direction?
I've been feeling good. I've been doing the right things, and I've been keeping myself in the right place mentally. So the results have been speaking for themselves.
How much was the mental aspect that changed, some of the little adjustments that you've made to that side of the game, crucial to the success you've been having?
It's been just about everything because I've always had skills. I've always had technique. I've always had the drive to make it happen. It's just getting my mental in the right place, having the confidence where it needed to be, and just making it happen.
How delicate is confidence? I'm like, we've seen you radiate it throughout this run of yours as an amateur. I mean, so many flying crazy submissions and stuff. Look at the smile he got when he thinks about the flying submissions. I mean, and it seemed so fragile when it went away for you to refine it.
Yeah, life is hard sometimes, bro. That's just how it goes. But I like this quote by Kyle Dake. He said, if you're not able to win under imperfect circumstance, then you're not good enough to win it. And it's a tough truth sometimes, you know what I mean? So I just got better, got everything better, elevated my stats everywhere, and I've been making it happen.
Now the 4-fight win streak, the confidence, it's all where it should be. What have you found have been the other little areas where you're like, okay, now I need to improve here. Now that I can see this needs to improve. Where else have you been developing?
Everywhere. The game goes deep, you know what I mean? There's levels to this that people do not understand. So I've been trying to prepare myself as best I can for that next level where I'm fighting the top guys on the planet.
What's the reaction like when you hear title fight? You get that offer, the contract, the team calls you, whatnot, and you hear it's a title fight.
It doesn't move me as much as I think people would expect it to. Because at the end of the day, there's no difference between a title fight and a regular fight besides you're going to fight for longer and you get a shiny belt at the end of it. At the end of the day, I still have a clash with another human being and I have to win that. So that's what I'm focused on.
I get what you're saying, but is there a moment where you get to realize, okay, this is at least a symbol of something that's being recognized, whether or not how much it matters? There's a promoter that's like, hey, you know, what you've done is so impressive that, hey, come fight for the belt. That in itself, whether it moves you or not, that's a title fight, some part else, that's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's like finally getting the recognition. You know what I mean? Like, I have very high expectations for myself, so like titles come with that, finishes come with that, highlights, all that stuff. But it really is a little key moment where maybe you start getting paid a little more, you start getting more recognition, you start having bigger promotions look at you. So it does everything that I wanted to for my career.
I'm going to keep repeating the same thing. It's a 4-fight win streak. He mentioned highlights. 3 of them are first-round finishes. So you're continuing to produce these highlights now as a professional, as we saw you running off in the amateur days.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, that was the plan the whole time. It took a little bit for me to get there, but I'm here now and I'm doing it.
Is there a different mindset to getting those finishes to materialize?
Yeah, definitely. Tapping into that killer mindset that I have and living in it during the fight. You know what I mean? We're not out here playing patty cake, you know what I mean? We're not playing tennis, no offense to tennis players, but it's like somebody loses in this game, they're getting their ass beat, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different game. So I just do what I have to do to be the one on the other side of that.
February 11th, the opponent's going to be Jesus Urbina, and as long as I've been covering, we've seen him as an amateur to a professional also come up on this local scene just like you, King of the Cage, not to mention he's fought quite a few of your teammates. Does this feel like an opponent that you know quite well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I met Jesus, I was like 15, and I competed against him in a jiu-jitsu tournament. So I'm pretty familiar with him. I'm pretty familiar with his attributes. Yeah, a lot of my teammates have fought him. I've seen him fight people close to me that I've trained with a lot. So I feel like I have a good perspective on his skill set.
He's been away from MMA, a little more active, grappling, combat, grappling.
He's doing good too.
Do you expect that that's going to bring kind of a different style to his game than what you've seen previously?
He had a fight earlier in 2022 that I feel like gave me a decent gauge of where he's evolved to in terms of his skill set. But yeah, that definitely affects things when you do a completely different style and just focus on that for a little bit. It definitely changes because MMA is its own martial art. It's not jiu-jitsu, it's not kickboxing, it's not wrestling. It's its own complete style.
And how is your style evolving and maturing?
Just trying to be good everywhere. You know what I mean? I don't want a single position where I don't know what to do.
We mentioned that you do know some and are pretty familiar with Jesus. How do you see this fight playing out?
I'm definitely going to win.
When you've went to bed at night, when you've been visualizing this fight, is this one where you see a finish materializing?
This has finish written all over it.
What is it still about this game that you are still sure that you want to devote everything to and that you're fully in love with this journey?
There's nothing that moves me like martial arts does. This helps me in every area of my life, physically, mentally, spiritually. Helps me become a better person, helps me with everything that I needed to. Martial arts has always been there for me, and I'm going to love it until the day I die.
Also got to ask, are you inspired by seeing the growth of your division? You could look back a couple of years ago, we were talking about, is 125 going to get dissolved? And that division is freaking awesome now.
Yeah, I definitely want to be one to add to that.
When you watch a fight, like we recently saw the title fight, Davidson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, where does that take your mind when you see the potential of where you can go with enough training, with enough honing of your skills?
Eventually, I want to beat all of them, whoever's in that position at the time.
He's going into his second professional title fight, looking to bring back another belt. So are we starting like a pretty collage in your room of all these trophies on the wall?
Yeah, we're trying to, you know what I mean? No, not really. I don't hang them up. I just keep them in my closet as a little reminder, you know what I mean, that I'm like that. But I'm just focused on the next goal right now.
And one last thing before I let Jesse go, because I want you guys to understand it. What's that feeling when you're about to enter the cage and it's about to be fight time?
It's intense. It's intense. It gets primal, bro. You know what I mean? There's no going back at that time. All the preparation is done. Whatever you went there with, that's what you're fighting with. It's just go time. All said and done. It's time to do the thing. I love that.
Thank you for the time, sir.
Thank you.